Theodora's breath stilled as she caught her first glimpse of the great and mysterious spectacle. At the end of the tunnel, framed in a black arch, she saw a wheat brown racetrack bathed in sunlight. She approached at the same level of the track with the spectator benches above her. Theodora heard and even felt the terrifying rumble of horse hooves, and a moment later, a practicing chariot flashed across the portal with such speed and noise that her skin prickled. When she emerged from the tunnel, Theodora was awestruck. The animal roar of civilization enveloped her every sense, making her dizzy in the head and sick in the belly. The whole of the hippodrome sat nakedly before her. Such an extraordinary environment, she thought. An arena built with precise shapes, hard angles, and vivid colors. So monumental in size that it teemed with tens of thousands. Theodora heard the shrill whinnies of horses pierce the din. Across the track from her, not far off, she watched muscular charioteers lean against their chariots, coolly observing their competitors at practice. Others adjusted and tightened the leather straps on the horse teams. A quadriga of 4 horses tethered together. A man with an announcer's cone stood near the charioteers, booming out words that made the spectators above Theodora's head suddenly cheer out. And all the while, dust from the track, heavy with the sweet stink of horse, filled her mouth and nose. The whole sight left Theodora breathless. She finally blinked. Pushing ahead of the other girls, Theodora leaned further out the tunnel and peered in both directions. From her far left to her far right, the swarming benches encircled the track in an oblong U-shape, dotted with black sockets from tunnels along the promenade. Centered in the racetrack, a white marble median separated the 2 straightaways, atop which sat obelisks, statues of crocodiles and elephants, gold pylons, and a bronze column of braided snakes that split into 3 serpentine heads. On the far north end, Theodora saw the starting gates with 10 horse stalls. From there, the track stretched into a long dirt straightaway that ran southward toward the first and only turn, the Svenden, a semicircle that curved into a second straightaway and back to the starting gates. There, the chariots would have to lean away from the gates, hug the median, and turn again onto the first straightaway. Theodora could imagine the scene at last. Men, horses, and chariots circling in violent laps. Around and around they would go. Whips lashing, clouds of dust trailing in their wake, and bringing all the fury of war before a frenzied cheering public. And she felt it too, inside her, a quickening of her pulse, followed by a strange urge to bare her teeth and scream. This was it, she realized. This was the source of the lunacy that had killed her pater. But what does it all mean? The whole view seemed overwhelming, dazzling, yet bizarrely incoherent. She didn't see a single Christian cross on the walls, nor priest in the crowd. The piety of Christendom showed nowhere in the hippodrome, as if the racetrack stood apart from religion, a brazen reminder of Constantinople's brutal Roman roots. No, the hippodrome was a temple of its own, she thought, a place where men came to worship chaos, where they denounced all restraint and cast off any moral code that suppressed their violence, their vitality, and their barbarity. Theodora felt a hand on her back and glanced up to see Magister Origen staring down at her. He bent forward so that his mouth was beside her ear. "What do you think, Theodora?" he shouted over the din. Unexpectedly, she blurted, "I think it's the most wonderful sight in the world." She'd always assumed that she'd condemn the hippodrome, not fall under its spell. "Do you think you could perform before such a crowd as this?" said Magister Origen. Theodora looked again. A group of bearded dwarves wearing horse costumes around the waist now chased each other, prompting a surge of laughter. This time she tried to imagine all those spectators staring down at her instead. "I think so," she said. "I think I could do it."